3, 2, 1. Holy crap. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. I'm not going to put you through the full song. I apologize I'm late. I know some of you are sticking around waiting for me, and that means a lot to me. So thank you. For those of you that are here, hopefully I can be heard right now. So I don't even actually know if I can. So say something in the chat if it's working. The music was working. I tested it. So should be able to hear me, but probably not. Oh, wait, I just heard myself. The delay is pretty big. It's about 10 seconds, I'd say. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Oh, man, I'm so error. All that reboot? Don't tell me that reboot was for nothing. Well, I'm gonna do my best tonight, guys. I had to make a quick executive decision. It was already past the showtime. This is giving me all sorts of negative feedback, and yeah, now I'm getting the white circle. So I don't know what the deal is. YouTube says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. You bastards. So hopefully that clears up. That's why I rebooted my system to try to make sure it was nothing on my end. Which it could be. We got an old computer. Just give me some feedback in the chat if things start crapping up, because I can't hear it the way you guys do. So I'm going to do my best. Let's get on with the show and see where we can go. It won't be the first time that I crash and burn. Eric knows. He's been here long enough. Speaking of Eric, looks like the first... Is he... No, looks like... looks like Jimmy was first. What's going on with that? I had to pull up this on my iPad. I got the iPad. Rania second. Good to see you, Rania. Eric is third. Good to see you, Eric. Let's see. Jimmy, congrats, says Melissa. And Jimmy takes a bow. Can Breen to make a holiday video. And Eric says his next video is going to be shelf porn. We don't want to see your porn collection, Eric. I know you want to show it off, but... I don't know if I'm being heard. Sometimes YouTube sucks. If you know what I mean. I'm getting the white circle, but I'm hearing audio. YouTube saying it's not getting data. I don't know. See, this is the thing sometimes. I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's me. If it's on my end. No, I'm not hearing anything. Shit. This is the thing that happened to me the other last week. I was trying to do, it was on November 5th. I was trying to do, what was that? The Viva Vendetta. And I decided I'm not going to do that this week because of issues. Why am I don't know why. Why it's having problems with my stream. This isn't fun. I know it's not fun to listen to. I'm sitting here trying to want to do a stream, listening to myself to see if I can do this, and that's of course super distracting. Looking at the YouTube analytics screen showing me like, oh, we can't do your stream. We're not getting enough data, which is why I rebooted my system. But I'm not going to go through that again because it's like 15 minutes. Keeping you guys waiting, so... shit. All right, I'm just going to power through it and see. Hopefully this clears up. Here's what I need to do. I'm going to shut that down. See if this keeps going. And use my iPad. T-Helim's like, Ash pressing a lot of buttons in the background there. Yeah, it's something like that. Let's see. Who else is in the house? Dragon Ball's here. Rambo's on MK11, but play Friday the 13th game too. I don't play either game. Although Rambo would be. If there was a cool, what do you call it? Mortality? Fatality. That's not mortality. I'm freaking such a boomer. Just blasted you into oblivion. Like Rambo 4 is one of my favorite scenes. Even though it's kind of ultra violent and disgusting. Let's see here. Let's see. Also, do Friday the 13th. I don't have any desire to play that Friday the 13th game. Dragon Ball says, I like Iron Man. I don't know about no thief of thief, bub. Well, we're gonna learn you some things. You're gonna learn to like it, as my mama used to say. Jimmy says, so what's happening? That's old news. Just try to get through this chat. Buy us some time. Hopefully the YouTube gods spare us. Got to do like a YouTube stream dance. Is that a thing? Drinking iced tea tonight. Still, YouTube is giving me flack. I'm not sure what else to do. Well, guys, this may be a failure in the making. I apologize. It's kind of embarrassing being on my end, having to manage this and having to talk. It's difficult at best. And I lost the chat. That was pretty funny though when I was going on the iPad chat, and Eric B said that it's a nice little stream you got going. Shame if something happened to it. So you guys tell me as I'm sitting here talking and trying to monitor my own system here with one ear. Does it sound like we can get through it on this? Or is it just terrible? I need to know. Eric's like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Man. Dragon Majesty said Ash's dog was really an alien, just ripped Ash's eyeball out, causing the difficulties. Yeah, I don't know what it is. We got a good system here. Or a good network, high speed. It's like top of the line. Not receiving enough video. Like, it just makes me wonder if it's my old aging machine causing the problem. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. This is really breaking up bad. It's just like I'm listening in on the chat. I got on my iPad, and it's like 30 seconds behind now, and YouTube keeps giving me problems. It keeps doing the white swirly of death Circle buffering. Oh, wait a second. Hold everything. Hold it. Hold your horses. Hold up. Steady. Easy. It says excellent connection now. So apparently, PayPaling Eric $20 with a little apology letter helped out some. I don't know why that would work. Don't know, but my system's working good now. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange how that works? Isn't that strange? All right, cool. Let's see. Let's timestamp this. We're at 37:30 into the stream. It's terrible. Oh, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm sorry for all this. I wish I was better. I wish upon a star. I wish. Oh my goodness. Although I think the lag is still there, even though it says excellent, because it's not changing the screen when I'm I'm sitting here looking at what's on my screen. Or I look on an iPad. I log in on my other account so I can see it how you guys see it. So because there's whatever I'm doing here live isn't instantaneous, so I don't know when you actually see it. And when I look and go, holy crap, it's like half a minute later it comes up. That's really tough. We got 2 good comics tonight. If anyone is toughed it out this far, we got Thief of Thieves #5 and Iron Man #5. And for those of you who didn't tough it out, I guess you're gonna miss some comics. These are good. I'm enjoying it. I went to the store today. I had to go to the grocery store, pick up some burgers, or actually, I guess some patties, some ground beef to make burgers. That was dinner tonight. And picked up, they had, remember guys, I told you about that seltzer? It was on sale. and I was kind of disappointed. And that alcoholic seltzer is stupid. Like, it's just seltzer water with alcohol. I mean, you could literally, if you want that, if you're like, oh, I want to get drunk, like, just go get yourself some of the flavored seltzer, like LaCroix or the bubbly from Target. Just get whatever your favorite flavor is, and just throw like half a shot of vodka in it, because that's about the same alcohol. If you want to be more alcoholic, you put a full shot of vodka in it, and you'll be the same. Like, I just don't get it. Anyways, I was all disappointed because one of my favorite beers is Sam Adams Boston Lager, and that was also on sale for $10. And I was like, I just had buyer's remorse. So I went to the store today. I had to get hamburger patties. And holy crap, dude, beef? What the frick, man? Ground beef is retarded expensive lately because of COVID. Anyways, so the deal is you got to spend $25 to get the deal. So I spent $25, and then I bought a 12-pack of Sam Adams, and I was like, oh, I haven't had Sam Adams in a long time. So I had it with dinner, had a beer with my burger, but I'm so freaking old. I was like, I can't have a beer with the stream now. I'll like pass out midstream. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I don't got anyone in the chat. It's making me nervous. Am I even still live? I got a, what is that? You know that thing like where you like when you beat an animal, and then every time you raise your hand it like flinches. I forget what that term is called. It's not. It's not gun shy, or there's something like there's a term. Anyways, I feel like that now. Every time I don't see anyone in chat, I'm like, am I still there? Melissa says you're echoing. Yeah, that's because you probably heard my iPad. I had to turn it up a little bit so I could hear it. But of course, if I hear it, that means you guys hear it. So, sorry about that. You shouldn't hear any echoing now. Jimmy says, YouTube gods, why isn't Ash good enough? He really tries. Yeah, I try. Not good enough, though. Not good enough. Well, it's it's that time of year again, November, which means Black Friday. So Comixology and DC have a Road to Black Friday sale. If you want to look at some good deals on some graphic novels, comic books, digital, of course, digital. But hey, dude, getting a graphic, like a trade paperback for $4 or $5 is, there's no complaining. I mean, you can go get the full trade for, $15 in paper, and some people like having paper trades better, and I can totally understand. I just don't like having shit tons of physical stuff anymore. So the digitals are really cool. And like I said, in the prices, I like being able to get a lot more. There's a ton DC is doing. I don't know how they're going to have Black Friday this year. That's going to be kind of interesting since Thanksgiving is canceled. On that note of Thanksgiving being canceled, I thought this was really interesting. Living here in California, since what's going on is apparently right after Thanksgiving, which is canceled, the schools are reopening full time. I was like, that's interesting. COVID is so bad that we're not allowed to go to each other's homes to have Thanksgiving, but we're reopening the schools full time the following Monday. That's strange how that works. It's just, God, it's so overt and stupid. This COVID is such nonsense. Oh, you're just a denier, Ash. You just don't believe in the science. And I'm like, you're right. I don't believe in the science of fucking cuckoo land, where apparently you can gather in the streets for 6 months straight and just no problems. But God forbid you go to one Trump rally and you're a fucking super spreader. That's science. Science. Anyways, I haven't gone through all these because there's a shit ton. I only went through the first one, which has almost 1,000 items. I didn't get through it. And then the second one has 1,000 more, which I didn't even look at all. Thinking about, there's some good stuff in here that I'm thinking about picking up. I love these sales. I love getting stuff, especially since I'm really thinking about dropping mainstream comics for the most part. I'll still get some, obviously if Sean Gordon Murphy does another White Knight, I'll be all over that. But I don't know. Part of it is this. Did you guys see this news? I retweeted this. Bounding into comics. The CW. DC announces Latinx Wonder Girl television series prior to character's future state debut. A Latina version of Wonder Girl, unrelated to her Titans incarnation, is headed to the CW's Arrowverse, with DC announcing a new series for the new character prior to her debut in the publisher's upcoming Future State event. Unbelievable. Latinx. Am I saying that right? Latinx Wonder Girl. Look at this, so stupid. Is this going to be DC's version of America? Is that what this is? And if so, can we get Gabby Rivera over here to write it? Because I'll read the shit out of that. Gabby Rivera's a national treasure and all. What are they going to call her? I mean, they can't call her. They're not going to call her Latinx Wonder Girl, are they? It's like, does she have a name? Is she just going to be Wonder Girl? Or are they going to just do the Marvel thing where they just take each other's names? I'm Wonder Girl. So am I. But I'm a better one because I'm higher on the progressive stack. So stupid. You're a white woman. I'm a minority woman, so I matter more. So stupid. Deadline is reporting the CW has ordered a Wonder Girl series, though it won't center around either established Titan Donna Troy, portrayed in the television series by Connor Leslie, or the John Byrne-created Cassie Sandsmark. No, the new Wonder Girl, or first as far as the Arrowverse is concerned, will be a younger version of Yara Flor, a Brazilian version of the iconic superheroine who will make her comic debut in next year's Future State event. Flor will reportedly serve as Wonder Woman across multiple titles during Future State, including a Justice League book and a solo outing written and illustrated by creator Joelle Jones. Thanks, Joelle. Thanks so much. Flor doesn't have a lengthy backstory. Backstory. That's what your dad did in comics. We don't have backstories in modern comics. We can't be bothered with backstories. Sorry. She doesn't have a backstory, given that she has yet to appear in any form of DC media. But Deadline describes the upcoming version as a Latina dreamer who was born of an Amazonian warrior and a Brazilian river god, who learns that she is Wonder Girl. Wait, she learns she's Wonder Girl? She learns that she's Cassie Sandsmark? Is that what she learns? This is so stupid. Just imagine like Superman being like, he learns he's Superman. No, he learned he was Kal-El, and he decided that he was going to be Superman. He made it up. Like, this is the difference between the modern progressive bullshit and... Sorry. Who learns that she is Wonder Girl, who must use her newly realized power to fight the evil forces that would seek to destroy the world. The series will be produced by Dalen Rod. Do they have editors over here at... I'm not going to make fun of Bounty in the comics. They're a little indie rag. They're pretty cool. Sorry. The series is going to be produced by Dalen Rodriguez, Queen of the South, and Arrowverse creator Greg Berlanti, with Deadline quick to emphasize that Berlanti and the CW are breaking more ground in superhero representation with their latest DC series project. Ooh. Interestingly enough, the character is officially described in Deadline's report as a Latina character. The Hollywood news outlet chose to promote the character as Latinx, a term promoted by critical race and social justice activists as a gender-neutral alternative to the gendered terms Latino and Latina when referencing individuals of Hispanic or Latin descent. So those of you people out there in internet-verse world place that like to mock me and attack me and say stuff and go, oh, shut up, Ash, you're just being so stupid. Shut up with your SJWs and comics. It's right here. It's right here. They're admitting. Critical race and social justice activists, aka social justice warriors. That's why they're literally, that's what this is. This is literally a social justice warrior character. Literally. And I understand how stupid that word is overused. I'm using it on purpose because this is truly, literally an SJW character. They're Latinx. Maybe they can just call her Latinx. That could be her name. That would be cool. Latinx. As the kids will say. Latinx. Oh my God. You can't call her like Latinxa, which would be feminine, because that would defeat the whole purpose. Am I right? Latinx. However, despite the recent surge in the term's use and promotion, as reported by the Pew Research Center, only 23% of U.S. adults who identify as Hispanic or Latino have even heard of the term Latinx. while just 3% say they have used it to describe themselves, indicating that the attempt to marry the upcoming Wonder Girl with the popular identity is nothing more of a bizarre attempt by the outlet to virtue signal to popular online subgroups. Wah, wah, wah. Ah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In the spirit of Batwoman giving the network the first gay lead superhero and Black Lightning providing its first black male superhero, with Batwoman's second season leveling up both of the first by introducing a lesbian hero of color in Ryan Wilder, Javicia Leslie, Flora is set up to be the first leading Latina or Latinx comic character, though if rumors are to be believed, she'll be racing for that title against Marvel's Anya Corazon-centric Spider-Girl film. Why the flip-flop would Marvel be doing a Spider-Girl film? They don't even have a Spider-Girl in the comics. What is wrong with these stupid companies? They do have a Spider-Woman that they recently pushed. You could do that. Spider-Gwen has been pretty popular in recent years, and she was in that recent movie that was real popular, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You could even do her. Why would you... Oh, because Spider-Gwen's a white girl. Forgot. Can't... We need to have gay Latinx characters. Sorry. Though Wild Dog and Vibe had prominent roles in Arrow and Flash, the two were still only supporting characters. It's not enough. Remember when it was all just about representation? We just need to have some representation. Now it's like it's not enough. Here you see it. They were there. They had prominent roles, but it's not enough. And eventually, we're going to have to give them the starring roles like we're seeing here. And then that won't be enough. And it just keeps going and going and going. It's never enough. That's the problem. It's never enough. So eventually, we're going to have every character a woman of color who's also gay and doesn't identify with the normal gender binaries. And probably is also trans and has some sort of disability. It has to be the ultimate. I mean, and then that won't be enough. You see? Anyways, while no hint of an appearance in the series by either of the Wonder Girls was given by Deadline, a previous rumor indicated that HBO Max is considering a Titans-related Wonder Girls spin-off series, which may connect to the grated. Jesus, look at this. Come on, Bounding into Comics. I know you guys are a small little indie site, but come on, get some copy editing. Which may connect to the grated DC Extended Universe through an appearance by Wonder Woman's big screen actress Gal Gadot. Or is it Gal Gadot? I never understood how to pronounce that correctly. What you make of this announcement? What would you like to see from a Wonder Girl television series? Share your thoughts on social media or in the comments below. Or you can share them in my chat as we talk about comics. All right, so Ronnie says, ugh, no. I hate vodka with a passion. What do you mean you hate vodka with a passion? Vodka is like the most unoffensive tasting liquor there is. It's the most purely distilled alcohol. A really good vodka has like such little flavor. I mean, and that's what makes it the perfect mixing drink too, by the way. When you mix vodka into something, as long as you don't overdo it, because you will always taste the alcohol, man, you can make some bomb drinks that don't even taste alcoholic. Eric says, I pass out midstream all the time and don't drink. Well, you're even older than me. Fresh brewed tea with a little lemon and sugar. Mixing it up. I normally just go plain, but for some reason I was craving some lemon tea. And you can put just straight lemon in a tea. Same way you can just put straight lemon in water. But if you put a little sugar, it kind of makes it like lemonade. That's good. You guys know what I'm talking about. Tehillim says, in Australia, our COVID-19 even knew the times of curfew. Funny that, even after curfew ended, it somehow disappeared. Who hasn't seen it? Did someone mention National Treasure Gabby Rivera? I did, Eric. Wouldn't she be perfect to write a Latinx series? Nalo's here. He says, checking in, putting this on and heading to bed. Right on, Nalo. Good to see you. Wish you could stay. CW already has plans to ruin the Powerpuff Girls and Kung Fu, says Melissa. Eric says, story time with Ashex. Fixed it. And I Am True Skills is in the house. He says, yo, Ash. And now, with that, now that I Am True Skills is here, we can finally start the show. Thanks for finally making it here. We've been waiting for you, buddy. The first comic of the evening, Thief of Thieves, number 5. Let's get it to big screen so Eric can see it, because he's got old eyes. It's hard for him to see the comics if I don't blow it up nice and big. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make it a big screen. And here we go. Gentlemen, we're about 30 seconds away from the tear gas. I say we make everyone's lives less stressful by walking out the front door now, yes? Some years back, the thief and his ghost. She has got a damn sexy voice, you know that? Can't believe it. We finally found a woman for you. You should go out there and introduce yourself. Ha, I doubt I'm her type. That's just you being shy. Some women like them smaller, you know that? I read it in a magazine once. How's that wound? You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was God's good punishment for you having the audacity to knock up my little sister. To be fair, I did have the decency to marry her, too. Yeah, well, lucky you. Means you get to be the one to take the back way out solo. What are you talking about? We've been in worse pinches than this. I see about 6 ways out from here. Not with the cargo this heavy. Somebody's got to buy you some time. Fuck that. We walk 1 in 1-2, we walk out 1-2. You always were a sucker for that sentimental teamwork bullshit. Hell of a bad habit for a crook, you know that? But what do you think the client does if we don't show up with the take? Or, let me put it the only way you're going to understand. What do you think he does to her? James, I'm not going to just leave you two. I figured. So long, brother. Over here, you fucking hot-ass little piglet. Sorry. That's a rad line. I gotta read it again. Over here, you fucking hot-ass little piglet. You just don't get Marvel writers writing like this. James. Hey, Redmond. You know what the most precious thing a man can steal is? One last breath. That's a cool shot. That is a cool shot. I mean, it's mostly graphic design, and you don't see that in comics very much. Well, not in the interiors of comics, but before that, this is a pretty cool emotional, piece here. Just letting the art tell the story, the drama of it all. And once again, like I mentioned, on previous stream, you have the beats. Even though there's no words, you're not meant to like blast through it any faster. You should take your time on each frame, just as if you were reading, because a good story is paced that way. And Kirkman does no pacing. It's me. Listen, what kind of favor? Samuel Henry, a.k.a. Hartford. The Key. Montgomery Price, a.k.a. Rabbit. The Slip. Patricia Watson, a.k.a. Mabel. The Distraction. Elliot Grandin. No alias. The Heavy. Stephen Chin. Or is that Stephen Chin? Never can tell. I'm going to say Stephen. It's a little bit more highbrow. He's playing polo after all. Stephen Chin, a.k.a. Riddle. The Worm. Chris Chase, a.k.a. Hustle. The Fireman. Okay. I don't really care how deep you are in that Frank Sinatra at the bar act. Meet me at 9. Or, that's what friends are for. You're still buying. Hey, Conrad. I always wondered, you and me, we met in a place like this. How do you think this would play out? I'd probably spot your gun, think better of it. Vodka sour. Yeah, well, maybe that's for the best though, right? I'm not really a one-night stand kind of lady. And you, well, not exactly marriage material, are you? Certainly couldn't see kids with you, I mean. Watch it. Hey, you're the one that wanted to meet, remember? Now why is that? Augustus. What about him? Your trouble's with me, not him. Don't. Whoa. Conrad, what are you talking about? You get this isn't some personal cause for me, right? I get paid by the United States government. He committed a crime. A lot of crimes, actually. Him being your son, happy coincidence. Now, if you're asking me if he has any leverage, anything he can broker a deal with, I'd say sure, of course. he has you. You know I'm not going to do that. Of course not. Then try to convince the judge to put him somewhere close, I guess, because long drives to federal penitentiaries are the worst, let me tell you. Or, what if I could give you something else? So, what's the job? Who said anything about a job? Maybe I just missed you, Chase. You and all your many, many charms. Celia, come on. Most of us haven't forgotten the last time we were here. Tell me about it. I'd already spent my part of Venice. On what? 4th place, 7th place, 9th place? Vicious fucking cycle. What I think Grandin and Chen are trying to say here is, some are still recovering from Redmond's decision to sleep till noon and watch a lot of cable, recovering in terms of our balance sheets. Oh, this is a shitty fucking lettering. Sorry, pause. Look at these 2 word balloons. We see this guy talking in the word balloon. The next word balloon is connected to it, so you automatically, your eyes think he's still saying it, except there's a line going to... Oh, never mind. It's not the lettering that's the problem. It's this comicsology bullshit. He's still talking. Okay, never mind. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Recovering in terms of our balance sheets, and seeing as how you interrupted our livelihoods to bring us here, you were about to get shot. Be that as it may, I still deserve a little explanation for my time. Okay, fine. Nobody has time for the pleasantries anymore? Nobody wants to eat these delicious muffins I went to Safeway and got for you and laid out meticulously on the tray here? Let's talk about the job. Talked about the job. 10 minutes later. That's what I said. That's almost $1 million apiece. Tantalizingly close, yeah. What I said. And it'll be that easy. Forgive my cynicism here, Celia, but if Arno knows that this is that easy, I'm a little confused on why he hires 6. Not meaning to brag here, but 6 very expensive hires to do something that, quite frankly, you could pull off. Well, see, Chase, that's the first thing you get to jumping conclusions like that. This job didn't come from Arno. You can't be serious. I am. They'll kill you. You'll be dead in a week. Let me worry about that. Jesus, Conrad. I mean, I'm about as far from your friend as you can get, and even I would tell you not to. You would agree to that, though, yes? In theory, sure, but... Good, then. Like I said before, I'm not Redmond. I can't confess to crimes I didn't commit. But in my day-to-day dealings as a legally upstanding private citizen, I came across certain information you might find useful. 6 of the best thieves working today on a heist totaling over $7 million in goods. I can give you all the details of their operation. Times, locations, assets. You can apprehend in the act. I'm talking about the biggest arrest of the decade. And in exchange, my son gets a plea. No time served or no thanks. Jesus, Conrad. Well, do we have a deal or not? That was just an okay issue. But still fine. Enjoyed it. Nice little twist there at the end. Well, actually, the whole thing. I think most of the reason I thought it was just okay is because a lot of space was just used introducing those characters. It was like, that's written for the trade. What are you going to do? Okay, let's see. Close that down. Back to the chats. Let's see what's going on. Where was I? All right. Melissa says, this is why people are leaving Western entertainment for alternatives like anime and manga and indie comics as entertainment. Maybe. Sorry, mind just drinking your ear. Doing a lot of talking like that, reading out loud, really makes your throat parched. Let's see. Ronnie says, not true. I had some paint thinner vodka at a bar that catered to college students when I went to college. Well, it's paint thinner vodka, Marania. You gotta get, man. If I was around, I would teach you the ways of. You gotta get the top shelf vodka. And you gotta get Western vodka. There's three types of vodka. There's Russian vodka, Polish vodka, and Western vodka. The Russians and the Polish keep arguing back and forth who invented vodka, and they're never going to find out. The Russians, they distill with potatoes. The Polish distill with rye, and Western vodka is distilled usually with wheat. Wheat makes the most pure distilling process and makes for the highest class vodkas in the world. All the top vodkas in the world, pretty much without fail, are all Western vodkas because of that. Polish vodkas have probably the strongest vodka taste because of the rye. I think Russians may use rye from time to time, whatever. If you want a vodka, like Mother Russia, then you're going to drink a Polish or a Russian vodka. If you want a vodka that's going to be smooth, you want a Western one. And those are the ones I recommend mixing with if you don't like the vodka taste. And also drink it as cold as possible. If you're drinking vodka, most aficionados, you freeze the vodka because it doesn't actually freeze. Its freezing temperature is too low to freeze. So you put it in the freezer. And so you can drink it at freezing temperature, and obviously the colder something is, the less taste it has. And they say, well, why even drink it at all if you can't taste it? And that's the point. It's not the point that you can't taste it. The point is that sometimes things that have a very minimal taste, like water, can actually taste very good when it's very pure. Your senses can taste the purity, not the actual flavors that are added in. So a good vodka will actually be very tasty. I can't really put it into better words, but the best analogy I can put is like drinking some of the purest water in the world. Just tastes delicious. Really pure distilled vodka tasted delicious as well. Obviously it's an acquired taste because it is alcohol, but that paint thinner shit, yeah, no wonder you had a bad experience. That's like saying, I hate beer. I grew up on, I almost said Pabst Blue Ribbon. I think you said you like Pabst Blue. What was I at the store today and I was like looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, Natty Ice. I was like, they still make Natty Ice? Milwaukee's best. It's like, I drink some of that, and that's beer's crap. It's like, well, yeah, you've only ever had the crappiest stuff. Let's see. Eric says, outrage. Latin, because Latinx sounds like a porno. Anyways, he says, have a good rest of the stream. Eric can't stay up, so he's out of here. I didn't get to say goodnight because he bailed. I'm sad. Let's see. Ronnie says, and yet you kvetch when similar pacing was done in Fractions Iron Man last issue. No. Yes, there was pacing. But the thing is when I pace that Iron Man, when I read it through with that pacing, what it did is highlighted how extensive that was. To see a dude just putting something in a locker. That wasn't good pacing. I paced through it, but it just highlighted how long that scene was drawn out when it didn't need to be. That was my point. Melissa says the muffins are probably poisoned or booby trapped. Why would you poison or booby trap muffins for the people that you need to do the job for you? That wouldn't make much sense, Melissa. Rania says, well, damn. Redmond is a Benedict Arnold. He's a thief of thieves. Thief of thieves. Maybe there's a little twist in the meaning of that word, huh? I think there's a guy who knows there's only one way out, right? There's that old saying, honor among thieves. But can there really be honor among people who steal for a living? Don't know. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve. I don't know. We shall see. The next comic for tonight is Invincible Iron Man. Got a couple people in the chat. People are missing out. I feel really bad. I'm going to try to do better about making sure my system is rebooted before the stream. Most of the time, it's not a problem. But tonight, I started noticing, like, things were hanging up. I was like, man, I really need to reboot my computer. And, yeah, it was too late. I'm sorry again for that. So, for those of you who are here, good things come to those who wait, as they say. All right. So, final book for the evening is Invincible Iron Man. This has been quite a bit of fun. Sorry. When you drink too fast, it's like we get all burpy and gassy. I don't know why. I'm just drinking tea. Invincible Iron Man number 5. This is the Fraction and LaRocca run from 2000. It says down here 2010. But I think this is actually 2008. Somewhere around that era. And here we go. Los Angeles. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stark Industries. Stark Industries has facilities on every continent and in more than 30 countries around the world. Tokyo. Stark Industries began as a defense contractor and aeronautics concern before branching out into nearly every technological aspect of modern life. Factories that once made bombs and the planes to drop them today make everything from toasters to medical equipment and beyond. Valencia. As pioneered by the brilliant futurist Mr. Tony Stark, Stark Industries provides us all with tomorrow, today, from its newest facility here in Spain, Long Island, to the premier Stark Industries facility here in Long Island, the first cornerstone in the Stark Empire, and the foremost in terms of its importance and scope. Oh, look at that camera, that camcorder. That's dating. Oh, no one uses those anymore. Now, if you'll all get into the trams, we'll start the tour. Stretching back to its origins in the 19th century when Dr. Isaac Stark, Sr., turned his manufacturing and engineering concern into a global industrial superpower and shepherded into the modern era by the late Howard Stark, Stark Industries has stood for security through innovation throughout its many iterations and name changes. Wait a second. Time out here. Time out. So Stark Industries is a robber baron company. I thought it started off through Howard Stark, and it started off doing some minor things, and then Tony Stark took over and took it over the edge, basically, because he's a super genius. I didn't realize that it's a 4th generation robber baron company. What is going on? And then what's going on with this whole thing? Like, Tony's specialty, the reason why he made billions is because he could develop weapons that no one else could. And now they make toasters, and I'm supposed to believe that Stark Industries is this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate because they make toaster ovens. God. Sorry, just let me do some mental gymnastics for a minute here, because ultimately it's not important to the story, but this is this annoying bullshit that especially modern comic writers, like, oh, well, we gotta make him, Tony Stark, of course, can't make weapons, and he's done it for decades now, and apparently fourth generation, and it's like, no, we're gonna make toasters now because weapons are bad. God, this is so child level intellect. Like, it's so baby brained. I'm sorry. I'm just really frustrated with this shit. And I've been dealing with this type of stuff. I've been watching the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, that Legend of Cora. And oh my God, is it fucking horrible. It is like, it's like the opposite of that. If you've ever watched The Last Airbender, the animated series, it's a good kid show. Like, it generally has good life lessons stuff. It's an adventure with, some mysticism and things. It's a good quality little kid show that, as an adult you can watch it too and be like, this is fun. I wish I would have had this as a kid. Cora, The Last Airbender, it's like Disney Star Wars is to Star Wars. I mean, they just wokeified the shit out of it. Just unbelievable. The episode I watched tonight, I was like, Cora is Captain Marvel. It's just, I was like, I gotta hate this show so bad. But I just grin and bear it because I'm watching it, with my buddy's kids. And, it's just kind of like a thing to share with them, and they're liking it. They're sitting there going, yay, like, I'm just like, oh, and I don't want to sit there and be like, fuck this shit, whatever, but I hate it, and it's getting me grumpy. So it's owed you a little bit of an explanation. We'll try to continue on. I'm sorry. Here in Tokyo, Stark Industries specializes in AI development, robotics and cybernetics, bionics, and even fringe science studies on human longevity and earthquake engineering. Or this on your right, the Stark Zero Point Energy Lab, where the future of human star travel is being made possible. Over the last few years, Stark has shifted away from military applications and concentrated on the civilian field. For example, here we see Stark chemists working on a Cold War-era medication originally designed to resist radiation damage in the event of a nuclear war. Today, it's given to chemotherapy patients. No matter where you are around the world, Stark stands on the bleeding edge of science, from anti-gravity quantum computing, holography, deep green energy solutions, and... Stop the tour. Wait. Hang on 1 second, let me catch my breath. Whew. I hopped off the tram to hit the restroom on that last stop and came back and you guys are gone. If I missed this tour, I'd just have died. Tony Stark is the Invincible Iron Man in The Five Nightmares, Part 5, Code Black. Hey, Jimmy likes Code Black. We were talking about that last stream. Come aboard, sir. Lots of room in the back. And now, if you're all safely seated, we've got just one more stop to make before we start the walking tour. The Stark Solar Center is one of the country's leading alternative energy research labs. And, as you can imagine, with the ever-rising price of gas, one of the busiest Stark concerns. Would you believe this tram is solar-powered? In fact, the entire facility is off-grid and self-efficient. Stark draws on no fossil fuels to keep its lights on. We'll disembark from the tram here to continue our tour of the solar array and superconductor on foot. Would you believe the Stark facility is nearly 6 times as large as underground as it is above? It's true, and today we're going to see an awful lot of it. If you'd like more information on anything you see today, simply tap your guest ID badge, and more will be emailed to you. All right, boys, let's get lost. Whew. That was a lot of freaking tour, like, just babble. I was like, this is... Do we need that much talk? We get it. There's a tour, and Ezekiel's jumping on with the tour. Like, that's it. That's what we needed to know. Sorry, grumpy. I'm grumpy. Continuing. Iron Man's flying. I'll find him. I'm on my way to the facilities now. The tracker virus I loaded into Stain's tech is only so discreet. I can track him to about 250 meters. Beyond that, it's cat and mouse, and I bet he knows it. He's luring you to him. My ETA is 12 minutes. We're scrambling first response teams to the 4 facilities now. I think we need to give the code black evac order for all Stark facilities, Tony, just to be... The hell? Oh, that's another one of my pet peeves, is seeing the hell. It's like... There's like a period, like a 10-year period where writers, this like, oh, that's what the kids all say. We got to put it in our comics. And now no one says it anymore. So it just sounds stupid. Anyways, continuing. Excuse me. To give the code black evacuation order, Tony, worldwide. Right now. Take no chances. And hello to you too, Miss Hill. Director Stark, due respect, but what the hell is a civilian doing on this channel? She's director of operations at Stark in my absence, Hill. And as there's a terrorist threat to... Right, okay. Well, she's right. Thank you, Miss Hill. You need to protect your people. Long Island. The quantum server array is the single largest consolidation of indexed knowledge on Earth, large enough to carry HD images of every inch of the Earth 10 trillion times over. Are we missing some folks? Roger that, Tour 19. We'll put word out we've got some wanderers and track their badges. Hi there, this is Tony Stark. Oh, just look at this. Look at this frame out of context. Just like, dude, look at the monitors. And hello. Let's look at the camera. And why does Tony Stark address employees at Stark Enterprises like as like, hi there, I'm Tony Stark? It's goofy. I'm sorry. It just strikes me as goofy. Continuing. Director Stark, we're issuing a code black for your facility. Forgive me for being curt. This is not a test and it's not a drill. We need everyone, civilian, contractor, and employee, to minimum safe distance ASAP. Stark Industries is closed for business worldwide. All Stark sites have responded to the code black and evacuations are underway. Great. Stream progress monitors to the suit, okay? On it. We're monitoring the 4 sites now for any repulsor pulses or any other kind of unique energy signals, but you won't find him like that. We're not finding him like that, no. I'm here, Maria. The evac looks smooth so far. It should. Every facility drills this twice a month, every month. It moves as much like a well-oiled machine as an evacuation can move. I'll find Stain myself. Just like you wanted. 4 hiding places, 4 corners of the world. Let's hope I picked the right one. I'm scanning the crowd prep, but they're all looking like normal people. Okay, so if you had to blow up your own facilities up, where would you hide the bombs? Location unknown. Okay, Zeke. Shields en route, and the evacuations are underway at each of the 4 sites. So the clock is ticking. If Stark is at any of the sites, they're not announcing it. It looks like a textbook lockdown so far. I know you can't speak or make any noises they might hear, but I know you can hear me, so I'll just keep talking. By now, you should be reaching the end of the switch junction corridor that feeds into a larger corridor. Direct the last 2 of your guys to head north to their objective. They should know where to go from there. And now, it's just you and me, baby. All alone. And as much as I love you, you just weren't fast enough for me. We've got Valencia in position and ready to go, so they get the first green light. Valencia. Metro desk. Tony, we've got a cellular burst in Valencia. Oh, God. Hello? Hello? 58 people die at Valencia. Emergency responders, mostly, working the evacuation, trying to save lives. To say nothing of the facility itself, which is leveled. 58 people. Stain. 58 more people dead in my name because of you. Because of me. Looks like the bomber called the newspaper first, Tony. We'll send a debrief team. Great, Maria. Pepper, how are we? Lousy, Tony. Evacuations still aren't finished. If Stain lights up another facility, we'll be looking at heavier casualties. I know. I'm making my way through the facility, looking for him or his men, but Stain's biology can barely be called human anymore. And his technology cloaks him and his men too well. I have to wait for him to make a move and trust his hate for me trumps everything else. I'm going after him, Sash. Stain. Damn straight. £425. Doesn't even faze him. Hiya, Tony. You can't see it because of the mask, but I promise you I'm smiling. And what a bunch of pearly whites you have in that screwed up head of yours, Ezekiel. Call them off, Stain. End this. This is between you and me, isn't it? Let the civilians get safe. It's not terror if civilians don't get killed, dummy. It's tragic and unjust and inexplicable. That's why they call it terror. You got a lot to learn about the way the world works these days, Tony. The power yield this kid has. Unreal. Amazing work. Ezekiel, you'd have been a genius if you weren't so completely psychotic. And you should have been dead. You should have been dead a long time ago. Sins of the father, huh? Always. Ugh. Always got a way of coming back. Ugh. It's not vaccines, but it could be. This cloud is made up of nanosprites that should shut Stain's lungs down. I don't breathe anymore, Tony. You should try anthrax. Or ricin, maybe. Smallpox. Think big, Pandemics, way of the future. Wow, that's freaking prophetic. Think big, pandemics, wave of the future. Wow. You're a monster. I'm a businessman. And you're a relic, Grandpa. Die. The kid keeps throwing fire like this, and I actually might. Good Lord. Tony. That was bigger than the Tanzania and Manila strikes combined. Director Stark. No kidding. Rebooting system. Good to know the Iron Man can survive a hit like that. once. That it, kid? I haven't even gotten warmed up yet. Hi-ya! Woof. He hits like a freight train. Suit registering real damage now. Heads up. Right thruster activate. This old gag should buy me some time. Damn it. Ark. This is it, Stark. All over now. Grah! He's right. Kid's right. The armor can't take much more of this punishment. One more hit, maybe two. Stain. That's right, Tony. Make my name your last words. Look familiar now? This is how you killed my father. This is how I'll kill you. That was a weird cut. Your father killed himself, Ezekiel. We fought, and when it was done, Obadiah... Shut up! Shut your mouth! Don't you say his name! Don't you dare say it! Don't you dare! He's dead! Tony Stark is dead! Who's next? That's all right. Simple, fun comic. Some good action shots. I'm not sure. The villain's becoming less and less interesting as the series is going on. He's just seeming like a straightforward psycho. In the beginning, he seemed to be a little bit more like a master villain with some psychotic tendencies. I think of like a Lex Luthor with a little bit of Joker, and now he feels a little more like a Joker with a little bit of Lex Luthor. Which, yeah, and just some of the dialogue can be really cool at parts, and the other parts it's really weird and stilted. And it's actually it's difficult to read, just the way that it flows. I don't know if I think that's why I was stuttering through it a lot. And just 5 issues in, we're 5 issues in, and it's just the same old, I hate you, I'm gonna get you, Tony. Like, and it's just, I feel like the story is just constantly stuttering and not firing on all cylinders. And the first couple issues, it felt like, oh, cool, we're going somewhere. And then it was like, oops, stutter, stop again. And now we're starting to trip over ourselves, almost like we don't want this. Like, the story is naturally building to this progression, and the writer's almost holding it back, saying, oh, we can't go too fast. We got to keep it going. I don't know. And then that whole beginning of the book where it was like doing the tour of the thing, that was like several pages of just going around like, and here we're seeing that we make the toasters, and over here we do the dishwashers. And I'm like, it was like, that was boring me to tears. Yeah, it really felt like there was a lot of fluff in here. Again, just, I'm probably being hypercritical because that's how I am, but it was a fine, like, fun, whatever. It didn't insult me. It didn't piss me off. I would still, if I were collecting this in real time, I would keep buying for the next issue. But that's just where my thoughts were. That's all. Just being transparent. Let's go back to the chat stream. Let's go back to the chat stream. Let's see. Melissa says, drinking alcohol will destroy your liver and give you cancer and blood poisoning. Drinking in heavy amounts, yes. However, drinking alcohol in small amounts actually does have some health benefits. Which is why I try to be responsible. I had one beer tonight with dinner, and I'm drinking iced tea right now because I don't want to abuse. I try to be a responsible adult sometimes. And I encourage everyone else to be a responsible adult, especially when it comes to things like drugs and alcohol. Melissa says to poison villains to force them to work for them for the antidote, like Amanda Waller forces the Suicide Squad with her explosive chips. Yeah, I suppose that's one way of motivation. It's usually a very bad way to motivate. If you've got people that are wanting to do a job, they usually perform a lot better than being forced to do a job. So, let's see. Ronnie says, Isaac Stark is a retcon. I don't recall that in the original series. I don't recall that either. I recall Howard Stark being sort of the Howard Hughes type character, and kind of like an analog to Howard Hughes. Like Howard Hughes did some notable things in his life, right? But he never like really reached the top of the mountain. He did enough things that we all know who Howard Hughes is, but not to ever be like, he changed the course of things. He's not like a Bill Gates or whatever, and then Tony Stark is sort of the guy who's like, if Howard Hughes had a son and took whatever Hughes had done and turned it into a techno empire like Microsoft or Google or something like that. Although he's a weapons guy, so it really wouldn't be a tech thing. It'd be more like Howard Hughes and he turned into like Lockheed Martin or something. Yeah, I don't like this whole robber barons thing. Like, and Tony's just another, look, he's fourth generation Stark. Look, it's like, I just hate this way, like, comic writers think, like, that, like, lineage, it just automatically sons pick up from their fathers. Like, oh, I was a super, like imagining like Bill Gates' kids are going to be super techno geniuses. Not that Bill Gates really is either. He kind of stumbled on things, but usually it's like one person in the family did something and then the kids get rich off it and they spoil all the money. They don't continue on the legacy. That's how reality works. But in comics, it's like they just keep going and the sons of the fathers are every bit as good, if not better than their father was. And then I don't know. It's just dumb writing to me. Plus robber barons weren't good people. They made money in areas like weapons and leveraged that money into research for other areas. Yeah. Imagine Lockheed Martin changing their business around and saying, we're going to make toasters now. No. Sorry. You can leverage your business. Yes, it can definitely happen. Samsung is one of the world's greatest examples, right? Like, I think Samsung started off as a furniture company, if I remember correctly. And they make all sorts of stuff. And obviously now they're one of the biggest techno giants in the world. They definitely leveraged, but they leveraged up, right? You don't leverage down. You don't start off, being Lockheed Martin and then say, oh yeah, now we make blenders. It just, also, the other thing I skipped over was R&D. Science R&D is not a profit maker. This is why government subsidies kick in. This is why we have groups like NASA and things like that, because if you're just like, hey, we're inventing new ways to do space travel, that's fantastic. Maybe it's going to do humankind a lot of good, but there's no money in it, right? Like that, you're sinking billions and billions of dollars into something. And as a private company, if you're just doing your own funding, you would just go bankrupt. So there's a reason, like SpaceX, people might be in the audience listening, but Ash, Elon Musk and SpaceX. Yes, exactly. If you're one of those people saying that, exactly. Elon Musk is one of the biggest beneficiaries of taking tax dollars. The government funnels our money into him so he can make cars and spaceships and make all his dreams come true. Elon Musk he just gets our money to play with toys. And I like Elon Musk actually, but anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Ronnie says, whoa. They did have this turn against the weapons with Stark for years before the Fraction run. He flirted with returning them, but for years he moved away from weapons to do other tech. I'm not blaming Fraction, Rania. I kind of knew that a little bit, but I didn't read all these years of Iron Man. So to me, this is kind of my first direct experience. My comments aren't directed necessarily at Fraction per se, but just in general to Marvel. Like, I just hate this idea of like, we need to figure out how to make Tony not just, doing like, first of all, making weapons isn't necessarily a bad thing. Countries need to defend themselves. I don't think Lockheed Martin is some sort of demon organization because they make jets and missiles and things like that. We need those, right? I hope that they never have to be used. That's my sincere hope, right? I don't like the idea. You can be for weapons manufacturing and not be for weapons use, right? And I think the proper way to write Tony Stark would be from that mindset of like, look, yes, I make weapons for the government because I believe that force is a strong deterrent. And if everyone knows that America is an unstoppable force, no one's going to F with us. And that's why I make the weapons, so that they never have to be used, because they're so awesome that everyone's afraid of us. And that should be how Tony Stark is written. Like, not like he likes using weapons. He's like, look, I'm going to make America the biggest, baddest thing on the block. And because of that, no one will ever war with us. And that's the way to stop violence. By making America weak is a way to actually incite more violence. To write him as like a pacifist, I don't want to make weapons because weapons are so bad. Only bad people are around weapons. It's like, you fly around in a weapon of mass destruction. It doesn't even make your attitude doesn't even make sense. Sorry, it's me being grumpy again. The retcon of making Tony adopted, not Howard's real son, ruined decades of him being his real son. Yeah, that's another thing, Melissa. Don't even get me started on the adoption thing. That was retarded. So retarded. It's funny how Howard Stark and Tony Stark look so much alike when they're just adopted. Anyways, Marani says that was well after the Fraction run. Rania, the adopted son retcon, is an atheist. Jeez. Melissa, try to find the fun in things. Let's see. Melissa says, I'm sick of turning every hero atheist when they originally were not. DC did it with Batman, and Marvel turned the Hulk and Spider-Man, Eddie Brock more. They're all religious. Yeah, I mean, it's annoying. My thought is, I don't want God in comics anyway, right? So I really don't want characters running around being like expressing their Christianity, so to speak. I do think that when Daredevil is done well, like it's being done currently in the Chip Zdarsky run, that his Catholic faith is a good part of his character. A good writer will usually only write Matt dealing with his beliefs and never actually write how God intervenes or whether or not he does intervene. They don't write. It's just more about Matt reconciling with his beliefs and so forth. And I think when it's done well, like I said, Zdarsky did this well. Frank Miller did it well. I think it does work well, but I don't really want to see God in comics. Now, on the flip side, I also think it's really stupid to go out of your way and try to have a character be, exert their atheism, so to speak, like Batman did a little while back, where the character actually has to come out and say it out loud to the audience. Like, hey, it's like, it's really kind of stupid for any Marvel character to be an atheist. Now, to not be Christian, different story. But to not be atheist, I mean, you literally see gods and devils. I mean, we know Mephisto exists. Thor's a god, right? Like, there's cosmic entities. It's not the Marvel universe. I mean, there's magic, for God's sakes. It's really kind of silly to live in a world where magic and mysticism and all these things, and you can see gods and so forth, and go, nah, we just evolved from rocks. What? Come on. It just doesn't work. It's silly. It's retarded. Yeah. Like I said, not having Christian religion, okay, we could talk about that because you're in a world that has different explanation for it. But again, I think it's better just to leave that all out of it, just altogether. Just show churches, like, hey, character, there's a church over there, because that's how the world is. We have churches, but you don't need to have the stories involve deity. I don't think. Just move on and tell the aspects of the story that don't involve that, and let the readers decide for themselves, right? You as a reader can decide whether or not in your headcanon Batman is a believer or not. If you decide that you want to not believe that he is, okay, it works. And another reader might go, no, I believe that he does believe. That works too. Never actually say it out loud, and then you're fine. That's my thoughts on the subject. I Am True Skill says, Ash, what you thought of the New Mutants? I watched it today, and I thought it was good for what it was. My thoughts are, you have to pay me some good money to see that movie. My time is valuable, and although I think I would rather see that movie than Dark Phoenix, that's not saying much. I do not watch Fox X-Men movies anymore. I haven't even seen Logan, and that's the only one that I think probably is worth giving a shot, because they constantly they've ruined every X movie. The only thing they've done right, and I don't really consider these X films, but if you want to consider them, is the Deadpool movies. Every X-Men film, X-related, Wolverine, something with X in the title, is garbage. Yes, even X-Men #1, or the first X-Men movie, especially the first X-Men movie, X2 was better than the first one, which was a good sign, but still garbage. I never even saw X3. It took me a while, but I eventually saw First Class, because I really like, is it Brian Vaughn? No, I can't. That's the comic writer, Brian K. Vaughan. It's Matthew Vaughn. It's like Scott and Zack Snyder. I get the names mixed up. I think it's Matthew Vaughn, the guy who did Kick-Ass and The Englishman. That guy is one of my favorite directors. I say he's my favorite director, and I'm getting his name mixed up right now. But I was like, oh, that guy did First Class? Holy shit, I gotta check this out. And so I watched the movie, and I was like, oh, this is terrible too. The Fox X universe is so messed up. It's not even like X-Men. The only thing good I can say about it is, it used to be, once upon a time, I watched those movies and I'm like, oh my God, the comics are so much better. These movies don't get it. And now I go, wow, the comics are even worse than the movies, because the comics are unbelievably bad. So yeah, I can't watch these movies. The Wolverine movies suck too. I haven't seen Logan. And I have heard it looks really good. It's got a good director behind it. I'm gonna give that a shot one day if I can catch it Netflix or somewhere. Because I am curious, but no, New Mutants. And the fact that they kept bumping New Mutants back told me like the studio had no faith in it. Dark Phoenix. Ooh, I know you didn't ask about that, but that the fact that movie even got made. Fox was just a train wreck when it came with the X-Men. Let's see. Ironmonger's son could not grow hair because it's Lex Luthor curse in the Marvel Universe. I thought he couldn't grow hair because he went into shock when his dad died. Melissa's saying goodnight. She's getting her goodnights in early. But yeah, I am True Skills. If you like the New Mutants, obviously I haven't seen it, so I'm being very prejudiced right now. If you liked it, awesome. Like I don't want to take anyone's enjoyment. There's definitely films that I don't expect other people would like that I like. So the quality of a film sometimes is not relevant to its objective appeal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, let's see. Melissa says, I hated Tom King's run for making Batman atheist and killing Alfred off. I hated Tom King's run just because he wrote like shit. he just made Batman just a beta male cuck who, wanted Catwoman to be his mommy wife. Like it's just insulting and ugly. I gotta tell you, man, as a guy, like when I read comics, to you women in the audience, and we have a couple on the stream, like I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but I can observe from the outside the type of stories and media that women do like, right? And so, I've seen what we used to call chick flicks, right? The kind of movies every guy was like, you're going to go on a date, you take your woman to a chick flick, so I get, like, I observe and I watch and go, oh, okay, women are they like these kind of things that are often repulsive to men, but we put up with it when we're watching it with a woman because they like it. Dude, like I watched the entire series of Sex and the City with my ex because she loved it. Like it was her jam. For the most part, I didn't really like it, although there was some good writing. I had to admit, like I was like, wow, some of this stuff was really solid writing, even though it's not my cup of tea of subject matter. But I got to learn, like, oh, and experience, oh, this thing appeals to you as a woman, as a guy. And one thing that as a guy, we cannot stand if we have testosterone. I'm not talking about the men who don't have testosterone. Is seeing men submit to women. Right? A boy submits to a woman, to his mother, right? As a little boy, your mother is dominant over you. And that's a normal relationship. But as a man, that's just not the case. Now, that doesn't mean that you look down on women, right? Domination doesn't mean what the world wants to paint it as. It's like this big negative thing. Dominance is more about like the leadership position. Men take a decision-making capacity. And sometimes women will push back on this if they don't feel confident in their man that they're with. And that's fine. But a man who's constantly like, oh, what should we do? I turn to you. You got to save us. A man riding bitch on a motorcycle. And I know the term is pretty, it's pretty sexist. But really, when a guy rides behind a woman on a motorcycle, it makes most men want to throw up in their mouth. And I know maybe some women who grew up in this modern world will go, oh, that's just so sexist. That's the problem with society. It's like, well, no, that's how men think, right? We're creatures of biology. and you can try to have society break us of certain natural instincts and so forth, but that's the way that it is, right? In the wild, a male lion takes the entire pride. There's one male, and all the women, all the female cats are his. And when he takes over that pride, any cubs that exist, he eats them. Well, he doesn't eat them, he kills them. Why? Because those weren't his offspring. Now, does he do it because he's an evil son of a bitch? No. It's Mother Nature. Now, I'm not suggesting that humans behave this way, but I suggest that we observe that biology, Mother Nature has designed us in certain ways, right? All of the female lions submit to the one male. All the female lions do all the hunting for the most part, and the male partakes, right? The male is there to basically impregnate all those female lions and give them cubs, and to protect those cubs from other male lions that might come in and be like, yo, I want to make these my ladies. It's a weird thing, but that's the way nature designed us. Now, we can fight against that and go, oh, I don't like that. Okay, whatever. You don't have to. But to deny the biology is silly. And we, men and women, have different biological things. And like I had Batman run, I watch and just see Batman just be this total beta male. Oh God. And he's just constantly just depressed. And look, I'm not necessarily any better than this, right? But I'm not Batman. I know maybe guys go through life and have real issues like this. And I'm not attacking any guys that are struggling in their life and dealing with these type of things. I'm talking about a fictional character, right? I'm not, if you're a man and you're dealing with issues because you've been through some trauma or whatever, don't listen to me as like, oh, Ash is just talking. Like, it's not about real people. I'm not talking about any real things right now. As humans, we all have our own own crosses to bear, our skeletons in our closet. But I'm talking about a fictional character that doesn't have any of those things. He doesn't have anything but what the writer puts on him. And Tom King decided to not put on him the aspirational virtues that Batman had, his vigilance and his determination that never quit, that even though he has no superpowers of his own, he never gives in and he always prepares and he always triumphs. That's his thing. He's kind of a similar character to Rocky, Rocky Balboa, in that, Rocky's a more simplistic character, but Rocky, the same type of story. The thing about Rocky is don't give up. Don't quit. Take the beating, keep getting up. Batman's a very similar character. Like, he just doesn't stop. And that's what we want to look up to. And that's what guys in particular with testosterone, want to look up to and go, oh, fuck, I can never be this way, but holy shit. In my fantasies, I would be. I'd fucking be Bruce Wayne. Like, hell yeah, this is a fucking hard ass motherfucker. Like, excuse my language, but that's what he is, and that's what he should be. He's a fantasy. Now, maybe women don't get that, right? I don't expect women to get that. That's fine. But I also think to some extent women see that character and they relate to him on a different factor, because I do think women want strong men. They want strong, dominant men, no matter how much some of them may deny it. They want a man who's capable, right? Who can stand up for them, who can stand up for himself, who can take care of them, who can take care of their children, can put a roof over their head, who's successful. Batman is all these things. And apparently he's pretty good looking too. Like, I don't think women want to read about beta male Bruce, who's like, will you be my mommy? I don't think any sane woman, at least. I mean, there's probably some weirdo women out there that are like, you. No, right? I think women like strong men. They may not enjoy reading the stories or watching the movies the same way the guys do. But there's a reason like movies like 300 is a good example. That movie made so much money because the unforeseen factor that women, it really appealed to women. And not because it was like it's a romantic film or anything. No, it was a movie that women go, fuck, these are men. These are fucking men. And I think vice versa, men like to watch or read stories about women who are women, not woman. Woman turn us off, but women. Anyways, that's my end of the stream rant. Give you guys some stuff to talk about. Let's see. Oh, RDV, glad you could join us. He says, if the woman is hot, I'll ride behind her. Yikes. Rania says, the dating issues with Clark, Lois, Bruce, Selena were good. After that, the story's tanked. I don't need to have romance in my superhero stories. I like action too. I don't think superhero stories are where romance should be. If you want to do romance stories, I think romance stories have a place. But make a romance book. You don't have to turn things into romance. Like, you don't have to be like... I'm trying to think of an example. Because a lot of movies, actually, they do throw romance into stuff. Just the way of things. I'm trying to think of something that was like a guy film, like, and throw romance into it. Gosh, man, everything has romance to some level in it. Wow. Let's use James Bond. James Bond's a good example because he doesn't really have romance. He sleeps with a lot of women, but it's more of, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But if someone came along and said, you know what, we need to change James Bond. We need some woman to come along and change him, and get him to settle down, and it's like, I can see the appeal of a story to some people like that, but you don't need to come in and break an existing character to satisfy your desire. You can make your own story that has that, right? I don't need you to take existing comics that are about being a superhero, right? And going, well, we need to, have the love stories and stuff and throw that. It's like, no, you're wanting to change it. You don't like what it is. So you're going to come in and you're going to change it to something that you like. No. Instead, if you don't like what it is, stay away from it and go to the things that you do like. Right? If you don't like that my house is the color that it is, you don't get to come and paint it a different color. Go somewhere else. Paint your own house, whatever color you want. By the way, Ronnie, I thought the dating issues were cringe as fuck. So cringe. RDV says, it's all about trust. Women are bad drivers, and you trust that the woman is the exception to the stereotype. No, RDV. I think it's the millennial in you that doesn't see like how cringy it is for a guy to sit behind a woman on a motorcycle. RDV says, if you're a communist, you're offended. Only communists complain. Oh, damn it. I can't argue with that one. I think that the combo of men riding behind women is weird. It is weird. I think it's weird to have men ride in the passenger seat of a car and the woman drive. Not nearly as weird as a motorcycle. Like, I've ridden in the passenger seat. Like, it's not taboo weird. Like, it's just a little weird to me. That's just me. But the motorcycle is like, oh, no. No. Yikes. Batman trusts Catwoman because he's Batman. He can take on and bounce back from anything that happens. That's his superpower. Yeah, he trusted Catwoman, and she lost him all of his billions of dollars. Good job, Batman. Good job. Tehillim says, I remember when younger, women were big into Fabio. Yeah, there was a Fabio thing. It didn't last very long. But Fabio was on the cover of a lot of romance novels. They used that dude, his image. They like put him on all these like Harlequin romance novels and stuff. He was all over them. Like, it wasn't him, they just used his likeness, I guess. But interesting. 300 sequel sucked balls. It wasn't nearly as good as the first one. I don't want to say it sucked balls. I'd say it was just mediocre. To me, it was like Ghostbusters 2 to Ghostbusters 1. Like, Ghostbusters 1 is an all-time iconic movie. That's just one of the great comedies of all time. Ghostbusters 2 is like, they did a thing. 300 felt that way too. It was like, oh yeah, 300 sequel. It's got some things going on. It wasn't like offensively bad or anything. I could watch it again. RDV says Army of Darkness is a guy film. There we go. Good call, RDV. Of course, it's also, yeah, it's a comedy. Even EVS is into Fabio. Tehillim gets the joke of the night. Awesome, Tehillim. That was a good one. James Bond is a flawed example. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Bond got hitched, and then she died so he could sleep with other women in the next films. No one ever counts on Her Majesty's Secret Service. You're like one of the few people who's ever seen that film, RDV. Rania says, they've had romantic subplots in comics for years, but they weren't the focus of the stories. They were a part. Yeah, I'm not saying romance can't be a part of a comic book. Well, obviously, you had Spider-Man, Mary Jane, Lois and Clark. And, there's characters that have had that part, like, integrated. And just like what you said, they weren't the focus. They were a part of it. What I'm talking about, though, is taking it and going, oh, yeah, this Thor comic is just too toxically masculine of a dude smashing people with a hammer and with bravado and drinking beers and calling women wenches and stuff. And like, we need to tie him down and just turn it into a big love story and where he's like crooning for a woman and like, it's, and where they just changed the book into where he's not even a superhero anymore. And it's just all about the romance. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a good example right now. Holy shit, I did a review a little while back of issue 105. That book is not even recognizable. It's just a furry fest of I don't even say romance, because I think romance means something, but it's love stories type. It's just it's all the characters hooking up. It's like what happened to like fighting ninjas and honoring your master and trying to learn the ways of the martial arts. Like, no, it's not about that. It's just like a bunch of furry characters all falling for each other and flirting with each other. And it's stupid. It's so stupid. It's disgusting. They had romantic subplots in comics for years, but they weren't I already read that part. Tehillim says, an ooze fest. Yikes. Remember when Marvel made Betty Ross into the She-Hulk? Red She-Hulk, so that Banner could have sex? No, I didn't read that shit, RDV. I try to avoid bad comics. But thankfully, RDV reads them, so we don't have to. And with that, folks, I went a little bit over in time. Thank you again for those who stuck it with me. I really appreciate that. Sorry about the technical difficulties that happens. And I'll try to minimize them as best I can. Tonight is Tuesday, so the next show is Thursday. Should be one more issue of each comic, I believe. And then we'll get on to some other things. I'm always taking suggestions. I want to thank Marania again for the suggestion of this Iron Man. As much as I kind of bitch about it and act hypercritical, I am enjoying it, and I'm very glad that I got to read this series because I probably wouldn't have otherwise. And yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying it. Want to thank... Well, I don't think anyone turned me on to Thief of Thieves, so... but Jimmy did help turn me on to Robert Kirkman, so I guess I'll give Jimmy a shout-out thanks, even though he's not listening. And that's it. RDV says Sour Smash Capes. I don't know what that... Sour Smash? We need to do another Sour Capes, though. We need to find a book. Thank you guys again. Really appreciate it. I could sit here and just thank you all night, but you'll be bored already. You're already bored. So hopefully you have a good night's sleep. I will see you hopefully Thursday. Tomorrow's new comic book day. Hopefully you're getting some good comics. Tell me about them in the comments or on Twitter or on the Discord, which is still there, believe it or not. And I love to hear about it.